corporate time on Clash of the Champions 18. Out comes the exciting announcement of our new executive vice president, K. Allen Fry. He comes out here, and what he does is he reveals the contract for the next title match at Super Brawl 2, which is going to be Lex Luger, who is, of course, the champion. So it's a sort of real non-event. That as a reveal. Where's Lex Luger, you might wonder? Lex Luger's sitting at home. He's no longer interested in working for this company. He has finished all of his dates, and no matter how much they say, can you come back to do something, he is like, I would rather sit at home. He has had enough. And then they bring out a special guest who is His Honor, Jesse the Body Ventura.
He's been away for years.
It's only when you see him here, having not seen him for a while, what a fucking brilliant commentator he is. He comes and does the main event, but he absolutely perfected that heel commentator thing, because what he isn't going, I like the bad guys. Boost, I hate Sting. He is continually making sense of why he likes the bad guys. Everything he says is correct. And you sort of begin to go, I'm slightly beginning to understand why he is on the side of the bad guys. That's a unique thing. I think apart from Bobby Heenan, there is no one as good at being a heel commentator. He comes out and he is like DDP done properly. Because he's got almost the same stuff on, but it's all much more valuable and therefore it works. So he's got a leather tasseled coat and he's got a tie-dye t-shirt. He's got a gold lame bandana on his head. Water sports. And so, he's been away for a year and a half. They call him His Honor, Jesse Ventura, because at this point, he was the elected mayor of Brooklyn Park in Minnesota. He held that position from 1991 until 1995. So they get Jesse Ventura out, and with K. Allen Fry, he announces... In fact, they don't. They get the two of them out, and then Tony Schiavone just goes, and of course, Sting's getting that title shot. So when you've got everyone fucking here... And you just go, just give it to the usual guy. You know, absolutely stupid. A little cut to Lex Luger, who is sitting at home.
He looks like he's dressed as a member of the Princess Bride.
He does.
It looks like he's wearing like a
blouson.
A blouson.
A lot's been said about the seclusion of Lex Luger as of late, he said. And again, not a lot have been said about it, but obviously he's referencing the fact that everyone is saying, will you please come back to work? And he's like, I'm not taking that call. No. You know, just, I love it when the real
I've lost my security
in.
pass.
He says, God calls concentration. Like that. You know, he's talking about saying, I'm getting ready for the thing. Actually, what he's getting ready for is to never do it again. You know.
I just don't want to be the greatest wrestling champion of all time. I want to be known as the greatest athlete of all time. So when it's all said and done, Sting, after that match, you will just be another chapter in the storybook career of the greatest wrestler and the greatest athlete who ever lived, the total package, Lex Luger.
At this point, I think what's happened is Vince McMahon has set up a big passion project of his, the WBF. The
muscle boys, the big muscle boys.
Yeah, the disgusting, glistening, sort of revolto men. And he really wants Lex Luger as a big name wrestler to become part of that. There was always, people saying Lex Luger's in good shape, but he's not a competitive bodybuilder. No. And you've got all these guys like Gary Strydom, who are big names, the only one I can remember. They used to put him on TV all the time. Huge stars, WBF, including Gary Strydom. And they basically, I mean, they look entirely different from Lex Luger. Yeah. Lex Luger's a muscular wrestler, but he's not a bodybuilder. Different.
Yeah.
But they were desperate for this to happen. And I think Lex Luger was at the point where he was like, I am so fed up of this. That the idea of just going to the gym all day and then I turn up in a posing pouch and Vince McMahon just goes, oh, I love it.
I like it.
This is do your press up on my nose. It's all, a bit unhealthy.
The World Bodybuilding Federation flexes its muscles at the first WBF Championship live June 15 at the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City. Watch history in the making. It's the most massive, the most awesome freakazoid on the planet. Battle it out in the first ever WBF Championship. Gary Strydom, the Mighty Mike Quinn, and all the WBF bad boys. The Taj Mahal will explode on June 15 at 8 p.m. when the World Bodybuilding Federation redefines bodybuilding in the first ever WBF Championship.
But Lex Luger, you can just see him just going, I have checked out of this so badly. Just so checked out. It's a shame because if you hadn't checked out, he would be watching the next match. It's Cactus Jack versus Van Hammer.
I know, right?
Oh,
It's a Falls Count Anywhere match.
it really is. And I would say, I mean, this is certainly without a doubt Van Hammer's best match of all time. I would say this is one of the most fun matches I've seen this year. I absolutely thrilled by it. Just thrilled. I was expecting nothing from it.
Yeah, okay, because you saw this whole shebang for the first time.
I knew this match had happened. I knew it had happened, and I could have told you who'd won it.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was about to see. Van Hammer just he does this thing at the start with his guitar where he pulls something and it fires out a streamer in Cactus Jack's face that hits him with such impact that Cactus Jack rolls backwards over the top rope. He's come out onto the ramp and he just rolls back into the ring, and it just knocks him for 6. And I was devastated. From that moment, I was like, oh, God, this is going to be one of those Falls Counts Anywhere match where, you know, he'll get a big bag of popcorn and he'll hit Cactus Jack over the head with it and Cactus Jack will scream. It will just be silly. He just attacks Cactus Jack. He just really goes for him. They could have made him a star. The first 3 moves he does in this are high impact, where he's just absolutely balls to the wall going for Cactus Jack. And they're big, high impactful moves. You just sort of go, wow, this is great. What they hadn't done is gone, and after those first 3, we'll do a 4th. And so after that, Van Hammer is like, I have literally no idea what to do next. He comes off the turnbuckle, Cactus Jack clotheslines him, and he hits the clothesline, and you can tell something's in the wrong position, and he just jars himself really badly, trying to get hit by the clothesline and go back. And you just go, wow, you're just a sack of shit. You are. This is not a natural thing for you.
No.
You jumped off and you were like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, he's doing a clothesline. I'll now try and move my body in midair. It's just really jerky and jarring. Cactus Jack, of course, this is his speciality match. And it's a speciality match really because he's one of those wrestlers who is very selfless and seems to have an incredible high threshold for pain. So in a match like this, you will guarantee it gets over because Van Hammer will do a hip toss and Mick Foley will go off the ramp onto the concrete.
Yeah.
And in this particular one, he doesn't take any moves that are horribly devastating. But this was a state-of-the-art match for 1990.
Right.
Honestly, in American wrestling, mainstream wrestling, you'd never seen anything like this. You'd rarely seen it where they'd go from the ring to the outside.
Yeah.
You know, if it'd just been that, people would be like, this is unbelievable. The fact that it was sort of devastating in places, it looked like they were really trying to attack each other. Then you get outside, there's
Bulls,
there's a hanging, and then fucking Abdullah the Butcher turns up dressed as a massive cowboy and he hits Van Hammer with a shovel. And I remember at the time, people were like, that was devastating. They'd write about it in the wrestling magazines. He was struck by Abdullah with sickening force and everything. And I watched it back and I was like, if you did that today, people would be like, I didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
At the time, people would write 3 pages about that in a wrestling magazine. Why this madman must be stopped. How much further is wrestling going to go? You know, tink. Cactus Jack is squealing like a pig because he's going. They say Charles Manson's favorite wrestler.
And so it has exposed the concrete floor here. Charlie Manson's favorite wrestler.
I did have a look. Charles Manson has never talked about wrestling, which is a shame.
No.
But he's got quite a big influence on it. People like Bray Wyatt before he became The Fiend. It's also been claimed that the initials of CM Punk. Punk has, over the years, said, it stands for Charles Manson. He's always given different reasons for it. Because the actual, I think, prosaic answer is it stood for Chick Magnet, which was the name he was in his first tag team.
Right.
He was with Chick Magnet and you know, whatever. Pussy
Chick.
Hounds. Yeah, that would be a great...
Stuck with him now,
That is a great opening that you go, I'm Chick Magnet.
Yeah.
And the other guy goes, and I'm Chick. And they just press up against each other. There is also a Mexican wrestler called Charlie Manson, who is probably the best of the Manson group.
Right.
And yes, I do include Bray Wyatt in it. Cactus is just really good. It was just, you know...
It was fun.
Oh, it was fun. What's really sweet about there is the thing where Jim Ross, as you say, when they go out and there's the bulls out there, he says there's a bunch of bulls for a rodeo they're going to have here. Utterly
Too much
believable.
exposition.
They were brought in specifically.
Yeah.
But they did have a stock area there.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't bring in like the paddock that has all the very fine dust. I love the fine dust. I did watch that. I thought I'd like to chew on. You know, just drying and.
I mean, they've not brought any lights out the back.
No.
Lighting is terrible.
But I like that
quite
more
liked
because
it.
You're sort of going, we didn't know this was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's just really nicely done. Missy Hyatt turns up and starts going, for some reason I'm in the middle of a match, commentating. And it's just so Abdullah can throw her into a horse trough full of water. I had so much fun watching this. I really did. I love the fact that at this point they've got this long-running thing that if Cactus Jack is there, the chances Abdullah will turn up at some point. And they're either going to be fighting or fucking. They're either Abdullah is helping him out or he's going to attack him, but neither knows which it is until it's happening. I love it. It makes no sense and it's great fun.
Yeah.
And it's just, he pops out dressed as a cowboy. I mean, it's just
He's just sort of standing there. It's what is going on?
Yeah, I loved it. I really love it. They promote on this show. They mentioned that they've got one of their big shows coming up at the George's Omni on the 9th of February. It wasn't a pay-per-view. And I was like, they're saying they had a match on the 9th of Feb. And I was like, well, you know, what did that actually happen? So I had a look. It was a house show. Abdullah defeated Cactus Jack in a steel cage match. And I know it will be shit. I know it'll be a terrible match because it involves Abdullah. But I would give anything.
It'd be lovely to say you'd seen it.
To have been there in George's Omni in 1992 to watch Abdullah the Butcher and Cactus Jack in a cage match as the main event. Could not have got enough of it.
Chased out of town. That was a dandy.